The Attorney General and Minister for Economy.
Once again, welcome you to Sabeto Muslim Primary School and enjoy the day's program. Thank you.
Individuals, they performed exceptionally well academically and in non-academic areas.
It gives me much pleasure to be here. This school is the last school in all the prize giving ceremonies I've been attending for the past 2 weeks. So I'm ending in probably the smallest school I've visited. But the point is that no school is any less important than any other school. So even though you may be a small school, or even though you may be somewhere in interior Fiji or on an island, every single school in Fiji is very important to the government. And this is why the Fijian government has made education free, right from primary school or now early childhood, all the way up to high school. And it is very important, I think, for all of us to place, in particular as parents, the emphasis that is required on education. The reason why we now are giving almost in excess of about $400 million a year to the Ministry of Education is because we believe that by educating our children, by providing them with opportunities, not just in high school and primary school and also universities, and also now in technical colleges, that we are investing in the future. The strength of any country are its people. And that is what we must be focused on. As you know, that many countries in the world today have become highly successful because of the fact that they place a lot of emphasis on education. Education is not only about passing their exams, but it's also about gaining knowledge. There is a saying, of course, as people would know, and the Imams here would tell you, one of the sayings of the Prophet was, at that point in time, he said, seek knowledge even if you have to go to China. And that time, going to China from Saudi Arabia was a big deal. So the pursuit of knowledge, the pursuit of information, is something that is a value that we must stick to right up till the day we die. Nobody in this world knows everything, except of course God. Nobody in this world can know everything, but everybody can actually pursue knowledge right up till they die. It is very, very important for us to be able to understand that. What we are doing now with our children is we are investing in them. We are asking the parents to provide the right environment for them. Those of the parents who have turned up, I see it is most of the prize givings that I've been to, I only generally see the mothers. A lot of the fathers don't turn up to the prize giving. But it is very, very important that both the parents actually support the child. Sometimes you may not necessarily know what they are studying, but the fact that if you encourage them to learn about it, or you provide them with the right environment, you do not necessarily snap back at them, but talk to them with a lot of love and affection and kindness, will encourage them to actually be at school, will encourage them to be actually learn themselves. The other point that I wanted to make, in particular with parents, is that a lot of people think that for your child to be successful, they have to become a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. They don't have to. You must always encourage your child to pursue what they like the best. If your child is good at handiwork, if they're good in carpentry, if they want to be a nurse, if they are good in motor mechanics, let them do that. If they want to be an electrician, let them do that. Because that's the area that they have a passion for. The same way I want to say to the children, I know most of you are quite young, that if you are really interested in a particular subject, a particular area, pursue that. I have seen so many people who would become accountants or lawyers, they've only done it because the parents have forced them to do it, because they think it's prestigious. But they're actually not necessarily very good lawyers or accountants, because they don't have the passion for it. You must have the passion for it. The same way that you see a distinction between a very good teacher and a mediocre teacher. A lot of people who are teachers, in fact, have a huge passion for it. You see the type of energy they bring to trying to teach their students, trying to impart their knowledge. You see a point of difference. So I think it is very important for all of us here as parents to understand that you must allow your child the opportunity to pursue what they want to. We have made it very easy. Whether you lose your job or whether you get relocated from your land, the fact is, even if your income drops, there is no excuse not to send your child to school, because you no longer have to pay for school fees. The government pays for your school fees now, child's school fees. I've heard so many stories in the past where people have said when they used to go to school, at high school or primary school, they used to always, when they saw the head teacher, used to run away because they had not paid the school fees. And the head teacher would come along and say, you have to pay your school fees. So these are the kind of issues that no longer exist. So we have a very good environment, the economy is doing well, there is a shortage of a lot of skill sets that we require. So in very few years' time, these children in a very short time will be in high school. And very soon they'll be in universities. Very soon they'll be working. So we must create the right environment for them. I would like to publicly also acknowledge, ladies and gentlemen, the hard work of teachers. I think teachers get, a lot of the times, don't necessarily get the right acknowledgement that they require. As parents, I'm sure you know that you leave your children at the school gate at about 8 o'clock in the morning or 7:30 in the morning, and you leave them there, and there is one other person that's looking after your child right up till about 3 o'clock or 3:30. These are the people who shape the minds of the children, teach them the values, teach them as to what they should be like as adults. So please, let's put our hands together for all the teachers in the room. Come on. Throughout Fiji, one other point I'd like to make, throughout Fiji, many of the schools in Fiji have actually been set up by school committees, community-based committees, faith-based organizations. And if these pioneers who had set up these schools, a school such as this, if they had not done it, today Fiji would have a huge shortage of schools. So I'd like to publicly also acknowledge the work of the school committees and the managers who take out a lot of their own personal time, a lot of their own energy, a lot of sometimes their own funds to be able to ensure that schools like this continue to operate. And we'd like to also publicly acknowledge them too for that. So let's put our hands together for the school committee. Last but not least, I'd like to thank, of course, the school for this invitation. And I'd like to say once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. I do not want to make a long speech. As you can see, that they're all getting very restless. I'm sure you all want to find out who came first, second, and third, and who's the ducks. So I wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and a fantastic New Year. Thank you.
also coming under prestigious. A round of applause for these students, ladies and gentlemen, dear students.
Walaikum assalam.
Can I have the following students taking the whole Shafia Fatima, Suliyat Ali, Bakra Mama and Mama Zakriya?
Yeah.
Cookie, Mali. It should come in the 50 times.